What's up, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today, not only do I have a new knife here to share with you all, but we have a new knife company to check out as well. This is coming in from a company called Wixco, and they are the sister company to Farrah Monster Knives. While I'm getting this thing opened up, let me know down in the comments what your EDC is today. We're off to a really good start. We have a zippered pouch and we have a removable RE there. So that is a nice touch. We'll open this thing up and we have a thank you card, microfiber cloth, very nice. And then we have a little cellophane baggie here with our knife in it. And you might be wondering, why did Farrah Monster decide to put out another company? They are doing the Wixco brand to basically signify or signal their budget line. The Farrah Monster Knife Company is going to continue taking care of more premium knives, where the Wixco brand is going to be more budget offerings. Now, that doesn't mean ultra budget. In the case of the Vortex here, this is going to be coming in right around $97. They do have a couple different variations, and Wixco really hit the ground running because not only did they drop this guy here, but they dropped 5 other models, I think, like 6 altogether, and each model has several different variations. So they really started off hot and heavy. Now, we're going to be looking at a very interesting looking knife here. We have a 14C28N Hawksbill. Yeah, Hawksbill style blade with a blackwash PVD coating. We have a cutout with studs in there, and that looks like you might be able to adjust that stud within that slot. We'll have to check that here in a moment. And let's get to this handle. It looks beautiful. This is what they're calling sky blue shredded carbon fiber. Let me see if we can get a little close-up of that. And then take a look there. We have nothing on the show side of the blade. We just have a little emblem there on the pivot, and that looks really good. I don't know if that's a bat or ships sailing in the sea, or maybe just a couple triangles. Let me know what you think that is down in the comments. Not only do we have some really beautiful looking carbon fiber, we have a steel deep carry clip, surface mounted, but the screws are recessed. And then it is going to be left hand friendly. Excellent, excellent job. And then we have a geared steel backspacer here to kind of tie everything together. We are looking at a standard liner lock there. You can see good access to it with a chamfer. Very nice. Sharpening choil looks good. The plunge dies off all the way back here. So we have some good sharpening life left in this blade. Good access there. Feels good. Studs feel really good. Yeah, you can use that cutout. Almost kind of like an AD20 and some of the other various knives we've had come out that have that cutout thumb stud combo. I always kind of use the reverse flick with the cutout, but I still use like the top of my finger to hit that stud, and it's just a perfect recipe to flick this blade out. And then you can kind of do the same thing here on the thumb side. But this is cool because lefties will be able to use this and carry this and not have to worry about only using it right-handed. And some right-handed people like to carry a knife lefty. So it's just a good thing if it's possible to do the option for left-hand carry. They make this a seamless transition as well. Very simple on the hardware. We just have our non-tooled pivot, couple of body screws, and then of course our holes for the clip. And then that's going to be the same setup here, and it's going to be looking like we got T8 body and pivot screws. And as far as the clip screws, those are going to be T6 on the clip screws. I was about to jump out the window. I thought they had T8s all the way around. We're getting there. We're getting there. Basically, the idea is if you're going to move the clip, you're going to move it once, and that should be it, because You don't have to take the clip off to take this knife apart. So you're basically going to either keep it there or you're going to move it to the other side and keep it there, right? So not all is lost that those are T6. Not a big deal at all, especially if they're decent quality. As far as the action goes, guys, the detent on this is really nice. Closing action is beautiful as well. You got that heavier nose, so that's going to help this just have a beautiful drop. Very, very nice. Now, what kind of size are we going to be looking at with the Vortex here? We have 3 inches of cutting edge, and we'll say that exact same thing for blade length, unless you want to go 3.1. And we are coming down there at 7 3/16 for an overall length. Now, if you're not familiar with what 7 3/16 inches looks like, I'll put up some comparisons here, and I'm sure most of you have no clue about anything 7 inches and beyond. But the Benchmade Bug Out here and the Kizer Drop Bear, they're going to be in the relative same class. The Vortex is going to be just a smidge smaller than both of those, but take a look at that carbon fiber. The Drop Bear has some beautiful carbon fiber on it as well, but look how bright that sky blue shredded carbon fiber is, and it almost looks like there's like little bats flying off in it or something. Really good looking stuff from Wixco there with that carbon fiber. And of course, it'll be a little smaller than the Vosteed Raccoon is, and it'll be quite a bit smaller than the Kizer Militaul. And here on the bottom, we have the new Concept Eagle Strike, and the brother to the Vortex, the Ferromonster Spectrum, and a knife that I have not put down for a week since I unboxed it. Absolutely love the new Spectrum there, and you'll see that both these knives are a little bit larger. And yes, the Spectrum is sporting a satin DLC, and it is some beautiful, tough ass stuff. But yeah, Ferromonster came out of the gate hitting hard, and this is a new release for them. This will be their 4th design, I believe. And then, in the process, they started up a budget knife company, or a more budget alternative, and these knives are going to be being made in the same factory. So if you've had that Ferromonster feel, you're going to be getting that same exact quality in the Wixco brand here. They're just going to be using some different materials. Instead of titanium, steel, instead of M390, 14C, and so on and so forth. But so far, you can see this is more affordable than the Spectrum is, but they really didn't cut any corners here with this knife so far. We're going to see how it cuts and see how tough that lock is, but so far, so good. Now, I want to get a look at this thing in the pocket here. Should carry pretty nice, yeah. If you like lanyards, you'll be able to see that kind of poking out of the pocket, which is often what you want if you have a lanyard. But that's going to carry nice. The clip is simple, very good, and it comes to a nice little point there. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it comes to a really nice point, and that'll help this get over certain pocket seams. And that had a nice little click to it there coming off of our small microfiber cloth. Let's go ahead and get a weight check on this. So we'll bring out the Arch Nemesis here, and right away, while this was still in the box, I could tell that it was a little lighter. And the crazy thing is, we still have recessed steel liners in there on both sides. Now, the show side is heavily milled out, but nonetheless, they got steel liners in there, and this feels really good in the hand. I mean, it feels lightweight. I think precisely what they were going for. So this is a little smaller than the Bug Out is by a touch. And that knife is pretty light. I don't think it's going to be, this ain't going to be as light as that. Let's say 2.5. 2.5. Oh! Ooh! Oh, did me dirty, see? See, that's why the spine whacker don't get along with this guy. He's always changing his mind. No, this scale's very precise, so it'll balance out and then it settles. So 2.4 is going, you know, if it's 2.45, it'll actually, so this is like 2.4443, something to that effect. And that's why it went to 2.4. But you add 0.03 to this, and it, you know, it's going to go up over 2.5. So that is pretty on point there. And we're looking at 68 grams for everyone else. This knife has had me pretty interested actually here. I want to check the blade stock looks nice and thin as well. So we're looking at 0.44 for the handle thickness. As far as the handle height goes, 0.76. As far as our blade stock thickness, yeah, under 100 thousandths, coming in there around 98, 99 thousandths for the blade stock. And then we'll check the behind the edge thickness here, and we'll see what we are looking at as far as a guesstimate. And it looks very standard there, about 22 thousandths, 21 to 22 thousandths, which is very routine. But let's see how this thing cuts out of the box. So we have our SMKW catalog, and we got Old Hickory and Victorinox. So you'll be able to do some poking with this, no question about it. Hawksbill blades are workhorses for sure. Been around for a long time, and probably, you know, no question about it, no probably about it. No question has done more work than you and I will ever do in our lives. Hawksbill, been around for a long time, and it's a good user blade shape. A lot of people will say, well, it's got this slight curve to it. Well, sharpening rod, guys, ceramic rod, diamond rod, get a rod. Get a rod, okay? You know, seriously, recurves, I used to go along with the crew and say, yeah, I don't want recurves. I don't want hawksbills, you know. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start seeing, like, is there a way I can touch this up and still get an edge back on it? And I soon realized that a rod is going to be your best friend when it comes to curves. Now, you know, it's up to you. You know, if you already know that and you still, but don't let the consensus of some sway you away from trying something you think you might like. Now, I'm saying if you don't like this, then of course, leave it be. But if it's something that looks interesting, but you see people saying, you know, and I know, unless you're new to the knife world and this is your first video ever, you're going to see people who don't like recurves, they don't like hawksbills, and I can tell you, as a very novice sharpener, blade maintainer, edge maintainer, it's not that hard with the right tools to keep the edge honed in, right? So the last thing we really need to check with this feller is going to be that lock. And the lockup looks pretty good there. That's like 50% or so, which is great. That's exactly what we want to see there. It is perfectly centered up. And the edge was really good, by the way, if I didn't say. So we will introduce the Vortex here to the spine whacker. Everyone gets to say hello. And what do you think? Put it down in the comments. Pass or fail? Feels good, and it looks good. Here we go. Some lighter ones to get us going. Very good. Some medium ones in the middle there. We're not trying to see if we can hammer a nail in or anything like that. We're just making sure that the lock is not going to slip. Just had a conversation with a fella the other day who commented on a very old video and said, you know, that I think that test is, you know, dumb, basically. And I said to him, I think it's dumb not to want to know if your lock's going to fail very easily on you right out of the box, right? I mean, that just makes sense to me. Like, we want to make sure it's comfortable, it carries right, it's got a decent edge on it, and that if it's a locking knife, that it freaking stays locked up. You know, I don't understand. I want to know is the main reason why I do it, and there's other people out there who want to know as well. And as I've always said, if it don't matter to you, then it don't matter. At least you know then. If you think it's a dumb test, I would hope that you open your eyes to. I'm not saying it's the most scientific test in the world, but it is going to tell us if the blade's going to fail or not, right? By just a couple casual taps. We're not trying to see if it can do anything beyond not failing. We're not trying to see if, we can chisel out the back of a tree. We're not trying to do any of that. We're just making sure that it's not going to just slip off of that lock. And we do have a coated blade, we have a coated liner, and they still got the job done. We'll do a couple of checks here, and this thing feels good. No change in the detent, still perfectly centered up. The action seems to continue to just get better and better, actually. And it's even, dropping a little further than it was. Very solid. We have many more to check out from Wixco, so don't worry about that. This is the first of many. You'll have to let me know. What do you think of the Wixco Vortex here? And are you excited about FerroMonster offering up a whole new catalog of affordable knives? They have knives that go all the way down to like the $60, $55, $60 price point. And then they got some up around the $97 to $100 price point, right? So they got a little something for anyone above 50 bucks. If you're in between that $50 and $100 range, might be worth heading over there and just taking a gander at what they have. If you're in the market for something a little bit more premium, then the FerroMonster brand might be the one for you. As I said, I'll have them both linked down below in the description and the pinned comment. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. That helps push the video out there to more people. If you have someone in your life that loves knives and gear as much as we do, share this video with them. Sharing this video really helps push it out there into that algorithm and gets us G-Ballers seen by more people. And that's a good thing. I'm going to pop up a couple of new videos, but before that, if you're new here and you enjoy knife and EDC content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos just like this. Now, I will pop up a couple of new videos on your screen. Go check one of them out because one of them you haven't seen. Not going to tell you which one, but click on them all. Thank you for watching. I love you all. I'll catch you on the next one.